We live in a world where social media, family, work, even everyday life can leave us feeling filtered. But when the mics turn on, the unfiltered truth comes alive. We share stories, real struggles, and real laughs as three women navigating life's messy but beautiful moments together, one conversation at a time. Hi, welcome to the chat, Life Unfiltered. I'm your host, Grace. Tonight we're talking about something that every one of us has experienced at some time in our lives, loneliness. It's not the kind that comes from being physically alone, but the kind that could show up even in a crowded room. When we're surrounded by people, scrolling endlessly on our phone, or trying to do everything right in our life. Loneliness doesn't always announce itself loudly either. Sometimes it's a small whisper in our ear. It can disguise itself as being too independent, very busy, having to be super strong, or just being silent. And it does show up differently for all of us, whether it's children, teens, adults, men, women, we each carry it in our own way. Tonight I'm joined by Gina and John, and together we're going to explore loneliness through our own lived experiences, our perspectives, and our hearts. We'll talk about why it's so present in today's world, what we may be missing emotionally, and how connection, not perfection, is what truly heals us. If you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or disconnected, this conversation is for you. Hi, Gina. Hi, John. Welcome. Tonight's topic is on loneliness, and it's a subject I think that we need to talk about a little more than we do. We all experience in our lives, and for some reason, it's a little uncomfortable to talk about. I'm so grateful that we have this kind of platform to discuss such an important topic. And I'm more than grateful to have you two with me tonight. So thank you. I really think it's important that we also discuss how loneliness shows up so different for so many people. It's not the same for any one of us. And I even think we can elaborate on loneliness for ourselves and give it a different definition. Like, I know for me, loneliness has nothing to do with the people that I'm with. I have beautiful friends and family. I'm constantly surrounded by people, and I'm so grateful for that. But I never feel lonely in a situation where I am without people. When I feel lonely, it's when I feel disconnected and I feel unfulfilled. And I don't know if many years ago I would have put that label on loneliness for myself, but now at this stage of my life, if I feel lonely, it's because I'm not going within and doing the work on myself or what I'm called to do. And I can't really recall in recent days any other time that I would use that word. So I was curious to know how loneliness shows up for each one of you and how you would define it.
So that's really interesting because, I think years ago, you said something very profound. Years ago, it would be unfulfilled in physical and emotional relationships or environments. But in today's environment, it includes things like technology. For example, I didn't get any text messages today. I didn't get any phone calls today. I didn't get any notifications today. So I think that might feel like a sense of loneliness. So, for example, if I'm on my phone texting with someone, I'm like, hey, I haven't heard from somebody in 5 days. I might feel that sense of loneliness or
Because you miss them, you mean?
Because I miss them,
Okay.
or I feel disconnected. I feel unfulfilled emotionally because I don't have that connection with, whether it's a loved one, a friend, regardless of relationship, just that connection, albeit verbal.
That's interesting. Because I wouldn't label that as loneliness for me. I miss someone, but I don't feel lonely because I miss them. So that's why I say it's interesting. We have different definitions of, people that we've lost in our lives. When we think about them in moments, we feel lonely because we don't have that physical person, but they're moments. So I guess when I think of loneliness, I'm thinking as a long period of time or a time in your life where you can say, hey, that was a rough time for me. I felt alone. I felt lonely. And for me, it's intermittent at times when I'm not feeling connected to my own self, my own soul. So for this stage of my life, it has nothing to do with other people. But I didn't view loneliness like you said. What do you think,
Yeah.
John?
I think I agree with both of you because, Grace, I think that loneliness sometimes is not, it's interesting because loneliness has changed, right? When we
Hmm.
were younger, loneliness looked very different than it does as being an older. And to Gina's point, getting text and social media, like that is like adrenaline and it feeds you. It like you feel like people are looking for you. And then I wonder, is it real? Because to
Mhm.
Grace's point, the
Hmm.
moments of loneliness I think is what I think about sometimes. Like I'm a person, I don't really feel lonely. So I'm a lot like you, Grace.
Hmm.
But and sometimes I welcome like being alone because
Right. Yeah,
I'm
we all
surrounded
do.
by
Sure.
people a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's tricky. And I think when Gina was speaking, I started thinking of loneliness versus neglect.
Mm.
Like you feel neglected because when somebody's texting you every day, and I had a situation this week, I hadn't heard from one of my friends, and I'm like, oh God, that's not like her. And I text her and I found out she had lost her phone and that's
Okay.
how connected we are to technology.
Right.
And she's
Right.
like, who is this? I don't know who this is.
I don't
And
have
I'm
my
like, oh
phone.
my God, it's me. And she's like, oh my God, I lost my phone. And this is a new phone. I have no numbers. And I'm like, oh, I guess she doesn't have an iPhone with an iCloud, right?
Right. Right.
But that
Right.
was interesting because here I'm thinking either she was busy or something going
Right.
on. And I said, let me reach out, like Gina
Mm.
was saying. But it was something happened, like she lost her phone,
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
connection to the world.
So technology becomes part of your day. You're scrolling, you're
It,
looking for those
it
friends. And
is.
when they're missing, yeah, a piece of you feels like is missing
Yeah.
and stuff. So
And
yeah.
I think it's more around like an emotional acceptance versus
Mhm.
like that inner loneliness.
Okay.
Right? I think it's
Yeah.
more of an emotional connection that we've naturally, I'll say, fell victim to with technology.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yeah.
true.
But let me ask you this. Do you think it's real? So like years ago, like you had people, they would pick up the phone, they would come to your house, you would go to their house, you'd go out. And nowadays, and especially younger generations, they're more connected than we are to our phones.
Yes.
And that's their socialization. Where
Hmm.
I still enjoy seeing people and
Right.
going out with people and meeting for a meal. And it seems very different. And I wonder if loneliness feels different to them
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
than
absolutely.
it would us.
Right, because as you were talking, I'm thinking, for us, that environment you just described, going out, socializing, that is our meaningful connection, right?
Correct.
But
Hmm.
is that still parallel to today's generation of socializing, social media, texting? Is that still the same level of meaningful connection for that generation?
No, because it's like, think about it. It's the more we're connecting, the more these young people are connecting online and us as
Hmm.
well, the
Hmm.
more disconnected you're feeling from people, the lonelier you're getting. So
Right.
that connection isn't real. And that connection is only feeding your loneliness if you look at it
Hmm.
that way, right?
Right.
Because,
Yep.
like you're saying, you're not interacting with people in a real way because on social media, people can post and like and share whatever they want. So it's
Yeah.
not about getting intimate and opening up yourself and being vulnerable with people in your life, which
And
is what
being whoever they want to be. So that's
that's
the
right.
other thing. They could hide behind social
Yeah. They
media.
could hide
The,
Yeah.
the,
behind it.
the other thing is, I just started recently going to a spin class and I'm loving
Hmm.
it.
I
And
love
I
that for
got to
you.
say, like, there are so many apps and Peloton and everything, which are great, but
Hmm.
there's nothing like going to a studio with the excitement of people around you and just that camaraderie of sweating and
Yep.
getting through
And feeling the
exercise,
energy of other people. It's
feeling
amazing.
the energy instead of
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
oh, I'm on my bike and I'm in my apartment. And yeah, so it's very different.
Yeah. Human interaction is important.
So
Important.
important.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. when I was stating what I said before, how loneliness feels for me. I know it's important to interact, and I have a huge family and a lot of friends, and I'm grateful for all of you. So I don't ever label that as loneliness if I'm not around them. And maybe because I do have it. So maybe that's why. But I would remember, look back when I was younger, like you're saying, if I didn't have my friends with me and I was home by myself, I'd feel lonely. I need my friends.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
today it's not about that at all. It's
No,
I feel like if we are comfortable with who we are and we're working on what we're supposed to be working on to fill our purpose in life, that void is filled. So
Mm-hmm.
that loneliness feeling is gone. So if I ever start to feel that, I know there's a disconnect somewhere. I need to do a little more work
Mm-hmm.
and just doing the work, doing the work, doing the work.
that's a very good analogy, the way you say disconnect, because I could relate to that. And when you feel, and to use like something we spoke about years ago, Grace, like your chakras are off, like things are off, like when the
Mm-hmm.
universe is off, you
Absolutely.
know it's off. And that loneliness is different, because I think when you have that loneliness, it seems a little dark,
Oh yeah. No, it's
It
definitely
right?
can
deeper
be, yeah.
because if you're not comfortable being with yourself, that's the ultimate loneliness. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You don't want to be with yourself because you don't want to go within. You don't want to see what you need to
that's
see.
right.
So you could be in a room full of people, thousands of people, and still feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, when you think about it, like, and when, like you said, Gina, like younger us were lonely. We were lonely sometimes if your
Mm-hmm.
friends weren't around,
Yeah.
or if everyone goes home after Sunday dinner, like all your aunts came and your
Yep.
grandmother, and
Yes.
then
There are always
when
people
it's
around.
over, it's silent,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and
Yep.
that
So
felt
true.
lonely.
Yep. No, it's
Yeah.
true. And you had said earlier too, and just to kind of flip it a little bit, but I think in some instances it could be a false sense of um, being seen or feeling seen and heard. But maybe many people use social media tools because in their current environments,
Right.
they feel unheard, they feel unseen.
Mm-hmm.
And social media is that fulfillment or to fulfillment of,
Temporarily.
yeah,
Temporarily.
being
It's a
heard. Yeah.
band-aid. It's a
It's a
band-aid.
band. I personally think it's a band-aid.
Yeah, it is because like
Yeah.
we said before, the more you are interact and connect with technology, you're pulling yourself out of humanity and compassion for a human being that
Hmm.
you are getting lonelier, but you're not realizing it because we all are with instant gratification. This makes me feel good today. I got 1,000 likes. I got listen. I'm the first one
Right.
to admit I look on my Gracepiration channel to make sure that everyone's watching our podcast, but I don't live. It's true. It helps feed your what you need to be nourished inside that people value what you have to say and what you're doing, but it can't be the end all. It
Hmm.
can't be who you are because then you just become lonely.
That's right. And the feeling you have when you get all those messages on your birthday
Yes, yes.
online
Oh,
Yeah.
feels
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
And then you start saying, wow, this is really cool. So I understand that. And then
Yes.
then there's a lull, because when you post something and people don't like it, or you get
Mm-hmm.
one or two likes, you're like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
what's all my likes? Like everyone hates me, right? But it's not true. It's just that
and
people
and
are
we
busy,
temporarily
right?
forget all
Yeah.
the likes we have in our life around us.
Right. And then when
Hmm.
you get
It's all
that
about
that
that one
one
like
post
right
that
there.
everyone loves,
Yes.
you're like, that's really nice.
It
Mm-hmm.
And you
it's
feel the
funny
love.
how we define, um, success, right?
Yes. Yep.
And acceptance,
Mhm.
just, for the number of likes or,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it validate, people use that as validation,
Yes.
Mhm.
Because real life makes you more vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah.
Social media is there for, like you said, for the good reasons that you post and say what you want. No one's interrupting you. There's no
That's right.
weird, awkward
Right.
silences. In a relationship where you're face to face, you have a lot of things that you can be exposed emotionally, and
Hmm.
that's not comfortable. That's not safe for a lot of people.
Mm-mm.
So I
Hmm.
think
No.
that's part of it too. You open yourself up to hurt, to judgment,
Yeah.
and on social media, you can just like click it off, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Yeah.
it's true. And when I was younger, I would post a lot. Like nowadays,
I don't
my
post.
posts on social media are really like far and few between. But on Instagram, I do put a lot of like things I cooked, like Like,
Okay.
oh, look at this pasta dish. Look at
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love
yeah.
those
So
posts.
it's like, it's very different.
Yeah.
But that's
Um,
more for me, I think, because
yes, I think it's for you because you
right,
enjoy to
I
express your
enjoy
creativity
cooking,
that way.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And you're sharing those recipes and stuff
Sharing.
with people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good interaction.
I even put Lucky Charms on Instagram once because I love Lucky Charms. So yeah.
I don't know how good Lucky Charms is for you, but if you love it, then enjoy it.
That's
Hold up.
funny.
Right? Yeah. So we talked about fulfillment earlier, and I
Mhm.
was saying how you don't feel fulfilled. Do you think sometimes like different things we do, we think we're being fulfilled, and then later we say, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this. I do feel a little lonely or by myself, meaning like we're always busy. And we think if we're busy and constantly have our hands in something, we are fulfilled and we are interacting, and that's enough. And I think a lot of people who are very busy and not interacting socially, like we're saying, do find that feeling of loneliness. So do you think people are
Mhm.
confusing being busy with being fulfilled?
That's an interesting question
Mhm.
because I look at it as, do I want to be valued based upon my accomplishments and what I do? Or do I want to be valued based upon who I am and the
Right.
relationships that I have, which
Right.
for me is the latter.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I agree, and I would say both are important,
Hmm.
but I think the people that impact you and you impact make a really big
Oh
difference,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
it's your network, and it. Yeah, I agree with you, Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so true. So true.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it, we're at work, we're different, we're functioning, we're producing, and
Hmm.
you're getting things done, and you come
Mm-hmm.
home, you want to enjoy your life as well. And
Yeah.
sometimes now with technology, and I hate to, bash technology, but it's difficult to disconnect,
Yes, it is.
Yes.
right?
It is.
Which
Yes.
which is, I get it.
You have to make a conscious effort to just do it. Yeah, it is
It's
hard.
better for
It is hard.
companies, better for a lot of things. But sometimes, like, I kind of miss the older days when you went home and everything was done.
Everything
Hmm.
was done.
Everything was done for the day. Yeah.
Till
Yes.
the
There's
next
no way to
day.
get in touch with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I
I
was thinking,
also, oh, go ahead. And
no,
I
go ahead.
also think, John, when you talk about work environments, the world has become more unison. And so we are no longer on like an East Coast schedule, as an
No.
example. We're
Correct.
on global schedules.
Yep.
And so that's why, there are certain circumstances where we feel obligated, to
That make you
continue
feel
that.
more connected to people that you're on global, that you
Actually, it
interact with?
does. I think
Okay.
it's really cool. And not from a work perspective, putting that aside, but
Getting to
but
know
just
different
establish
cultures and
just
yeah.
establishing relationships, learning
Hmm.
about different cultures,
Mm,
celebrating each other's cultures. It just kind of brings a whole new level to whether they're friendships or
right.
coworkers. It
Hmm.
just brings a whole different level to, like, I just feel like it's really exciting, if I'm working with somebody from Japan or
Love it.
India, it doesn't
Hmm?
matter where. It's just like there's so much to learn.
So those differences bring you together. They
Absolutely.
don't fuel the loneliness. That actually brings you
That
together.
actually
They're learning
fuel.
about,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I wanted to
Brings you
bring up,
closer.
Brings you closer. Yeah.
how differences can bring us apart and make us feel disconnected and make us feel
Hmm.
lonely. And I
That's true.
never, ever, ever talk about politics because I don't
Mm.
believe that anyone
Mhm.
should. But in general, I think today society has come so
Yes.
disconnected from each other because of politics. Because at one time, politics was a belief you had, something you could discuss, but now people define it as who you are.
They get
If
angry.
if you have a belief, it
Mm.
becomes who you are, your identity. And that was never so. And that should
No.
not be so because
Right.
it's just a belief. But it actually becomes a identity of the person. And then you disassociate with that identity because that's not your type of person. And I think that's one of the big reasons why we are so far apart in our country and disconnected from
Mm.
one another because of that. But when did that change? When did politics become who we are, not just one of our beliefs, like everything else we believe?
Influencers.
Yeah.
It's
social media.
influences, and I think
Yep.
it's media and
Hmm.
social media and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say to that point is I strongly believe we all have common grounds.
Of
Yes.
course.
And
Yes.
some of the challenge is finding out what that common ground is
Hmm.
to connect with that person,
Right.
regardless of their nationality, where they're from, their
Right.
political beliefs.
Right.
Everyone has a common ground. It's
Yeah.
just you have to find it.
You're
Yep.
absolutely right. It
Mm-hmm.
should
Yeah,
never be now we're different people and we can never interact with one
absolutely.
another
And I've
again.
seen
Like
I've
we're
seen
just different, you
families,
know?
I've seen friends break up
Yeah,
over
it's terrible.
stuff, and I think it's terrible because it was never that way. It's
Yeah.
just
No,
a
yeah.
little too inflated and intense, I think, right
Yes.
now.
That's a
Yes.
great word, inflated,
Hmm. Yeah.
on
And I think
so
that's
many
exactly what
different
happened.
levels. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
True.
I wonder why it happened,
I,
but
I don't know.
I don't
that's
know.
one thing that I think about all the time. At one time, it was just a part of who we are. Another belief.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Catholic, if you're this, and you're, believe in this political system or not. And
Like, who
now it's,
cares?
yeah,
Right.
you're deemed.
Who cares? And, we've talked about this
But
many
obviously,
times.
many people care because it's breaking up.
Right.
That's true. They
We
do.
don't.
Right. But, there's so much opportunity, right, in diversity,
Hmm.
because it gives us an opportunity to understand and learn different
Oh,
perspectives and
yes,
educate
absolutely.
ourselves, whether it's scientific, whether
Hmm.
it's, opinionated.
Hmm.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter. You
Hmm.
know, I think I think therein lies opportunity.
Yeah, no, I
I
think that's
Um,
agree.
brilliant that you said that because
mm,
people don't realize with what we're just talking about how they're creating their own loneliness
Loneliness,
along
right?
Hmm.
with the social media and distancing. That's another part of it
Hmm.
because loneliness is on the rise. I mean, that's all I'm ever reading about, seeing
Hmm.
clients about that people are just involved in their lives morning and night, but they just feel so lonely inside
Hmm.
Hmm.
because of all this disconnect.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. John, as a
And
man, do you
that's
think
sad.
expressing yourself is harder as lonely, being lonely? Do you think it's hard just because you're a man?
I don't think I don't think it's harder. I think if a man is lonely, I don't think the feelings are on the surface like it would be. And that's generalizing because it's not
Okay.
true
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody.
Okay.
But sometimes I think men like hide a lot of their feelings,
Mm-hmm.
just the way you're brought up, and like, it's not okay to say you're lonely or sad
Yeah,
or
because
things
you're
like
putting it,
that.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, but I do. Yeah, I think it's more complicated. That's a complicated
Hmm.
Yeah, I
topic,
do.
I think,
I
right?
I do too. I do too. I think for adults in general, it's difficult for us because
Yeah,
we try to normalize it and mask it and fit into our everyday lives. Whereas little children, like I'll go up with my grandchildren, they will tell you
Yeah.
they're lonely. They need you with their actions. It's clear to say these kids need something, and that's usually a sign of them feeling lonely. And whereas teenagers will withdraw and be silent, and you have to like pull it out of them what's going on. But as we become adults in our lives, I think we learn to mask it and then normalize it and make it this is just part of our everyday life, and
exactly.
and we accept it. And then before you know it, it's something inside that we don't even know where it started from.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and then I think once it becomes a person's norm,
mm-hmm.
it's normalized, right?
Yeah.
And it's who,
Yeah.
who they are. And I think it's accepted, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like the
Their new norm wherever
new
they are
norm. Yeah, exactly.
in life. I mean,
Yeah.
you talked about young children, it could be separation anxiety, it could be
Yeah.
Mhm.
withdrawal. Teenagers, it could be, being socially accepted.
Yep. True.
Am I pretty enough? Am I handsome enough? Comparisons to not only their peers, but
Mm-hmm.
social media and what
That's right.
everyone's supposed to look like. Uh,
That's right.
we all
Yes.
survived without filters, people,
Yeah.
No, no,
right?
we do not.
Oh, you're
Today
talking
we
about years
don't.
ago we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
not
what I'm
today.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Today,
Life's changing
today
so much.
people
It's so true.
don't.
Yes.
Um,
I know.
Yesteryear wasn't even a thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, as you get into the seniors, if they lost their spouses or
Mm-hmm.
significant others, they take on, they had this wonderful emotional presence,
Hmm.
this emotional you know, relationship.
Hmm.
And
They're,
when
they're
that's
part of
taken
each
away
other.
from them,
Yeah.
that's another definition of loneliness. And
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
and like you said, John, it's either going to stick with them or they're going to learn to redefine themselves. And that will take,
Redefine it
yeah, redefine, where they are in their life. And
Mm-hmm.
then,
and become more withdrawn.
Yeah.
right, right,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, we see a lot of that.
Yes. With
You
the
know,
elderly.
it, you
Absolutely.
know, the three of us have been exposed to, whether it's in a hospital environment, nursing
Hmm.
home,
Yep.
rehabilitation, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You meet people, you meet the elders, and my goodness, if you spend 5 minutes with them, their whole physiological
Yeah.
compound uh, compound just changes. The
Yeah.
chemistry just changes. That's the word I was
Yeah,
looking
and there's so much literature on that as well, aging and loneliness,
for. Hmm.
and like just paying attention. And people forget, and this always drove me crazy. The older person you see is the person, they were us like
Yes.
Yes,
And we will be
yes.
before.
them. And we will be
And
them.
they're
Yes.
the reason why we're successful today.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
it's
Amen.
our turn to take care of
Yes.
Here with
them
them.
and
Yes.
make sure they're okay, and
Yes.
hear
Absolutely.
them, listen to them,
Yes.
give them some time. They deserve it.
Yes. And they have the wisdom. I learned so much from
It's the
Yes.
wisdom.
the elders around me.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I
Yep.
love talking to older people. Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know what? When my mother-in-law lost my father-in-law, they were married 60 something years. Her counselor
Wow.
that worked with her explained it to me this way. She said, when you are married or with someone that many years, you become one person.
Yeah.
And when they die, you literally lose part of who you are. So it's not that you miss
Mm.
your spouse. You feel like you're missing part of you and you are
Yep.
missing something that you don't understand. And you're grieving your own loss for you, for what you've
Hmm.
known to be yourself, because you're not realizing how you became that one
Hmm.
person in
That's right.
60, 70 years. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh my God, it's so true. It's so
Yes.
true. You become one person. So now, how do you move forward without feeling lonely? There's a hole
And that's, I knew a
inside.
friend's mom and dad that were married like 100 years, and he died. And then she was so sad, and she had a lot of friends, but her friends died. Like once you get older
Yes.
and your friends are gone, like your best
Yes.
friends are gone, your
Mm-hmm.
husband's gone, and your kids have their own lives. So even though they love you, you love them, they have their own lives. And
That's
I
what she used to
describe
say.
that as circles, right?
Yes.
So I feel like everyone's a part of a circle, right?
Hmm.
I'm a circle. And then when I think about my siblings, their family are a circle. And
Uh-huh.
once in a while, our circles intertwine, but it's
Yeah.
separate circles,
I
right?
like that.
So
Yeah.
think of that older woman who's alone now. All her friends are gone, her husband's gone. She'll go into her son's circle with his family, her
Mm.
daughter's circle with her family, but yet she goes back to her circle that's
Circles by
alone. It's
herself.
just her.
Yeah. I like that analogy. It's so
Yeah.
true.
No, I always think
So
about life in circles when it comes to people and dynamics.
yeah. Yeah. And being our elders have always been there for us, and now we have to try to be there for them. We have to be that strong one, like they were the strong ones back then.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's a sense of loneliness when we have to be that strength for other people?
I don't sense, for me personally, no.
Yeah, me no either. I feel like this sounds I feel like I thrive when I have to be there for
Me
someone.
too.
Okay.
Like I love
Okay.
it. I love being there for people. I'm there for anybody that needs it. That's me.
That's wonderful.
Johnny on the spot, as they say,
Johnny on
right?
the
But
spot, love it.
but it's funny because you sense when somebody needs something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very intuitive to people. Like I could read a room, I could read a person,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you just, that little something you offer them, or the time you spend with them
Yes.
Mm.
are enough to like make them feel a little better.
Yes.
Right. Their love light is rekindled. you
Right.
know, even if it's just for that time that you spend with them. The light in their eyes comes back, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. It may be
Mhm.
temporary, but
It's
you
okay
made a
though. You
difference.
gave them some time.
You got it.
It's a
So,
gift, and it's funny you
Hmm.
say light, Gina, because I always say to people, like again, my intuition. Like when I see somebody's not right
Hmm.
at work or in my life, I always say, "Your light's a little dim today. Is everything
yeah,
okay?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
because I see the light, so I understand what you just said.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay. I want to elaborate a little bit more on what I meant about the strength and the loneliness. We all are very good at being there for each other, for our families, and I think we do thrive on that because we are also good at it, all three of us.
Hmm.
But what about something that's long term? That you have to be strong for someone in a relationship or be a caregiver for someone who's been sick, like when I took care of my mom.
Hmm.
There's something in that responsibility and that profound difference you make in someone's life that can make you feel all alone and make you feel lonely because it's all up to you if this
Yeah.
person is going to get well or if that relationship is going to go well. So in my mind, I feel like that could be a little bit of a lonely place to be when you are that person in a long-term situation.
Yeah, and when my mom was dying and I would come down and I'd spend weeks helping with her, I know exactly what that feels like. And I don't know if it's lonely or if you feel like you're cut off.
Mm.
Like now, this is my focus.
Yeah,
This is what I need to do. And everything else in my life is on hold.
that's right. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
There is no
Because
other
there was
life.
one
There is
point
no
I
other
think I
life.
was down like
Yeah.
6 weeks taking care of my mom. And,
Mhm.
my mom got really sick at the end. And of course it was my pleasure, but I totally separated my life and
Yes, you have to.
my sisters were here. So it was good
Mhm.
Yeah.
to that we had support with each other, but everything else has to go on the back burner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think, it's more that the world stops because you're stepping up to be present in
Correct.
in a situation, whatever that situation is. However, when I think about death, right, the world stops too, right? Your
Hmm.
world stops, but there is more for me, there is more of a sense of loneliness.
Oh, yeah.
There's more of a sense of loneliness that I feel with the relationship that I had with the person that passed that I need to work through.
Hmm.
Yes, it's combined with grief, but it's a different loneliness
Explain
than,
that a little bit. Explain that.
well, the world is continuing. Everybody's out there
Mm.
celebrating. Everybody is
Mm-hmm.
out there,
Mm-hmm.
being
Hmm.
emotionally fed in a positive way. And
Mm-hmm.
when you lose someone, that's why I said your world the world stops, right? I mean,
Hmm.
the world keeps going, but
Oh,
your
and for you,
world
it
stops.
stops. Yeah.
And so when you view it that way, you're isolated. You
Yeah.
isolate
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you're
Mm-hmm.
grieving, you're feeling lonely. You know you're not going to have that physical presence, that gift of that person's physical presence anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a sense of loneliness
Yeah.
there
Because the world around you does not match
because it
what
doesn't,
you
No,
feel.
it
And
does
right,
not match.
right.
yeah, and that's the point I was trying to relay. And Gina,
Okay.
you put it beautifully by saying that with loss of losing someone in your life that you love, whether it's a relationship that's ended or they have passed away. But
Mm-hmm.
it's that feeling of the world going on and your life is so different. Although you choose to make it different, meaning
Mm-hmm.
caregiving for someone like I did for my mom, it's still
Right.
different. And everybody's life is going on. Like you said, they're laughing, they're celebrating, and you're not because you're
Right.
taking care of someone who's dying or you have lost someone. So,
Right.
yes, there is a little bit of sense of loneliness when you have to be that strong person in the
Mm-hmm.
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
I
you just
think I
explained what
think
I was
the
trying to
trick there
say.
too is how do you get back
Yeah.
into the world with this new with this missing person. That's
Yeah.
hard.
It's
Yeah.
And
hard.
that's a whole nother topic, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
We,
like
we,
crazy, but it's like you have to, like, your mind goes because, like you all said, the world's going on. Nothing changed in the world,
Mhm.
but
Right.
your world changed.
It looks
Right.
different. Yeah. We touched on all that in the grief episode that we did.
And that was a beautiful episode, by the
And
way.
how it just changes form, how we move
Yeah.
forward. But yeah, absolutely. You have to choose to want to be happy and find joy and bring yourself out of that loneliness. But these are the different ways that I think people can define loneliness. Like we automatically just think, oh, we don't have people in our life, we're lonely. But these are so many
No.
different ways that you can feel lost and lonely in your own life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only one thing that may have changed, but it's a huge thing. It's a
Huge.
huge,
It's
right.
huge.
And yeah, I recall that feeling many times, just seeing the world go by and everyone's living their life like nothing happened because for them it
Mhm.
didn't.
Hmm.
And then there's the day where your life's going on beautifully, like
Hmm.
nothing's happened, and somebody else is suffering and going through that. But when
Yeah.
you're in that, it's a lonely place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that, and this is just a personal um thing that I feel, if I'm driving, years ago, if I was driving into work or um running an errand, whatever I was doing, and I saw a funeral procession, I felt that loneliness. I felt
Hmm.
that grief. I felt that heartache that family is
Mm.
experiencing right now because
Hmm.
at that moment their world stopped
Yeah.
Hmm.
and mine is still going.
Right.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
I
That's something you learn to
yeah,
acknowledge
and
it
I
elsewhere because you lived it. Yeah.
yeah, and I sit with that out of respect for that
Mm-hmm.
family, whoever they are, I don't know them. Um, because that also needs to be recognized.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think it's more than respect, Gina. I think it's who you are also, because you feel the feeling, so you pick
Mm-hmm.
up on energy,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and the
Absolutely.
energy at that point is very sad and lonely for those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Gina, I want to ask you because you've lived
Sure.
through so many life transitions,
Hmm.
marriage to divorce to becoming so independent. Did any part of that transition bring in some loneliness for you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, just like someone losing a significant other through death,
Mm-hmm.
the breakup of any type of relationship, kind of carries the same, emotions.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're in a committed relationship for so many years, whether it's a small number of years or a large number of years, you know, when you have that breakup, there is a sense of loneliness. There is a
Mm.
sense of grief.
Hmm.
And that is something you have to work through, regardless of any type of breakup in a relationship.
Mm.
Like John said, you can wear it
Hmm.
or you can work through it.
Yeah.
And if you have a good support system around you, you're going to
And
work
is that
through
how
it
you work through it with your support system?
a
Like,
hundred
how did you
percent.
work through it one step at a time when you were going through that?
So, a lot of it had to do with self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, I can't, how am I going to do this on my own? How am I going to manage life on my own?
Yes.
I never really did that before. So that was a fear. I was allowing fear to creep in. So I kind of had to, step up to the plate, use not only I'll call them emotional intelligence skills.
Like, what do you tell yourself? You look in the mirror, you get up this morning, say, Gina, what?
You could do this. You
Simple as that. You
can
can do
do
this
this
every single day
every
until
single
you feel
day.
it, right?
You've got this.
Okay.
And so those are, self-affirmations, but that fulfillment also comes from your rope team. And you have to select your rope team very carefully,
Which is
which
family,
is
friends. Okay.
family,
Yeah,
friends.
I
It could be
agree.
anyone. It could be a
Hmm.
stranger, right? It could be a stranger who just, you strike up a conversation, you just start talking, right?
Okay.
We've all done that on grocery lines,
Sure.
shopping, whatever. Um, and you have those people supporting you because if you start to, you know, if you allow self-doubt to creep in, you've got your rope team behind you. Like, oh no,
Yes.
you're not going
Yeah.
there. You've got this, right?
I
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
We've
Um,
always said that if you surround yourself with the people you truly trust
trust.
in your life, they're the ones to not only pick up the pieces, but look you right in the eye and tell you, you're not doing this right. You're screwing
Yep.
this up. And I'm
That's
going to tell
right.
you how. Because how many of us are not able to see, from the
Right.
inside out when we're in
Right.
something that's so
Mm-hmm.
emotional? You need
Mm-hmm.
someone outside looking in. And that's what your support system is, or your rope team. I just never knew that term. But
I
yeah, it's
love
so
that
important.
term.
Yeah. Is that
And
the people
Gina, I
pulling
would
on your
say,
rope?
like,
Yep. Pulling,
yeah,
yeah.
pull that rope because
And to
you
Yeah.
got
support the
this.
good and to point out,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
to broaden your perspective, because I don't want to say
Mhm.
to point out things that, are not going well. It's really to open your eyes to
Right.
look, to look at everything because, if it's a very simple analogy, but if we're walking down the street together and, I see a pothole in front of us, I'm going to say, oh, wait, watch.
Right.
You might want
Right.
to walk around that, or let's talk about how you can walk through it, right?
Yep.
I'm not going to let you fall.
I love that.
Yep.
And Gina, I think about like you remember, like I sent out that Ben Affleck thing in our text,
Hmm.
and you said, I always have a tank of gas. And I will never forget that because I thought that was beautiful. I love
I
that.
don't remember it. You want to
Yeah.
retell that story? I don't remember
Yeah.
it.
So I sent this text to you all, and it was the Ben Affleck, and I forget the other actor. Anyway, saying that he's like, we have to go do this thing. We might hurt a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. And the
Oh,
other guy
yeah. Yeah.
goes, whose car are we going to take? You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
was good. And Gina goes, I always have 10K gas. And I
A
thought
full
that was
tank of
brilliant.
gas for
Love
anybody who
that.
Oh,
needs
that's
me.
great. It's so true.
Love that.
So true.
And Gina,
Partners in crime.
your self affirmation, mine would be different because I was thinking about what I would be saying in the mirror would be, you have to do it.
Yes.
See,
You have no choice.
I'm not easy on myself in a
Okay.
weird way. And I never say you got this. I'm like, I think I'm more like strict. I'm militant.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to do this.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
must do this. You
Hmm.
have no choice to do
That's
this.
what I say. You have no choice. You have no choice.
Yeah, I don't know
Most of the
why,
times
but
we
that's
don't.
who I am.
Yep.
But I think yours is nicer.
You got this. I believe in
Right.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all need a little more of that.
Yeah.
Positive affirmations. Yeah. For our self worth. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Gina, because you're so spiritual, while you were in this journey and your transition of all these major changes in your life, did you look at it at that time as, let me reflect, go within, and use this time as an invitation to grow, to heal? Or did you think, oh my God, what's happening to my life? I'm being punished?
No, I didn't feel like I was being punished at all. Um, it was about growth. It was about opportunity. It was about growth. And when I say opportunity, I mean bringing my emotional intelligence to a whole different level for me.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps that was something I neglected,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know it until I went through it.
Yep.
So it was a lot of self-reflection, a lot of growth. And with that growth came more confidence and less fear.
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
love that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
And that's who you are. It's so funny because when you were saying that, that's exactly who you are. You're
Yeah.
very confident. Like that's how I see you. And
Yeah.
strong.
Yes.
Thank you.
John, from a man's perspective, because I go back and forth because I only know a female perspective.
Yeah,
So I want
yeah.
to, like, what is a way that you can become more connected to people without feeling exposed or weak? Because a man always has to have that stigma of being strong. Like, how do
Yeah,
you
and
feel comfortable
that's
connecting
true
with
because you
someone?
always do, and we always hit our emotions and
Yeah, yeah.
blah blah blah. But sometimes, like on a day where I'll call it a slump day, where you feel like, oh, I need to do something today. I have no problem going to like a restaurant bar and sitting at the bar and talking to people and having my
That's
chicken
great.
zingers. And I'm so happy. The zingers are hot chicken strips. They're delicious at
Oh,
Miller's
wow.
Ale House. And then
You're
start
making me
talking to
hungry.
people, because I think that's important. Even
Mhm.
though they're strangers, you don't know who they are, but that
Yes,
interaction is important.
that's great. That's
And you
great.
know what? I'm going to add to that.
I know what she's going to say. Go ahead.
She knows what I'm going to say because she's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I could never do that. How did you do
Yeah.
that? John, back to Grace's question she posed to me about going through some of my life's transformations. I
Mhm.
became so confident
Yeah.
and, comfortable in my skin and with who I am that, you know what? If my kids didn't want to go to the diner with me, or if I couldn't coordinate a schedule with a friend,
You go.
guess who went to the diner by herself?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you know what? At the first time, I was like, "Oh my gosh, is anybody watching me?" And but then I was like, "Who cares? I am here. I am enjoying myself.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
Yeah.
am decompressing. I am fulfilling my personal needs, like, getting out,
Correct.
socializing." Um, so I definitely can appreciate that.
Yeah. And for somebody else looking at you, maybe someone else sitting there with their family might go, oh, that poor girl, she's so lonely. But for you, it's the complete opposite. It's empowering. You
Mm-hmm.
can, like I said before, you can be with yourself. You're going within and comfortable with who you are, then you don't feel lonely.
Yeah.
I just said to her, I would be so uncomfortable. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself because when I'm eating, I'm always talking to somebody. What would I
Right.
do? Just
Right.
eat? I mean, I don't even know how to do that. So, yeah, but I think that's amazing because you're doing the complete opposite of being lonely with your actions, where
Mm-hmm.
doing it
Yep.
would be like, oh, she's all by herself. But that's amazing. That's
And
amazing
I actually enjoy it sometimes,
because
Mm-hmm.
you can eat in
because
peace.
you eat in peace, and you eat what you want, and then you do what you want. You take your time, or you could
Mm-hmm.
eat quick and you can go. It's like, to me, it's a nice experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to do it one day.
Could have your burger, doesn't matter.
I'm going to ask both of you the same question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you first, John. What do you think most men rarely say about loneliness? Like when it comes to loneliness, what don't they talk about?
So, yeah, they will never talk about being alone or lonely.
They'll
They
never
will
admit it.
never admit they're lonely. So they always put on, in my opinion, a persona like they're not lonely, but people are lonely. People get lonely.
Yeah.
Men, women, everyone gets lonely, and I think men perceive that as weakness.
I was
I
just going to
think,
say, here we go with that strongness
yeah,
again.
Yeah.
and I think they're built. You're built to be strong. Hide
Mm-hmm.
your like feelings, if you will. Like nowadays, I think things are improving. Men feel more. Well, they display it more, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, and I think they don't want to admit they're lonely because it's a sign of defeat for them, I think.
Mm.
Mm,
I mean, it is for me. I'll speak for me. So
yeah.
I don't want to speak for everyone, but to say you're lonely, or saying like it almost feels like it's out of character for you.
Okay. So
Mm.
it's just, yeah, I was going to say it's just hard enough to admit that. Gina, I'm posing the same question to you because us as women, what do we feel looking at a man and say what is so hard for them to speak up and say, hey, I may need somebody right now. I'm lonely. Like, why do you think men rarely will admit that they're lonely?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is ego.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that comes to mind is it, and again, like John, I don't want to speak for anyone, but it could just be their level of emotional intelligence,
Mm,
Hmm.
you know, or the stigmas that come
yeah.
around genders, right? You know, masculine and feminine,
Right.
Right.
right? Well, I'm masculine.
Right.
I'll never admit that I'm lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas women are more in touch with their emotions
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
and
Hmm.
women will admit it
will
far sooner than a man would.
communicate.
Yeah.
Correct. they
Yeah.
will communicate it. They might not know what to do with it, but they'll talk about it. Where
Yeah.
men, I think, suppress because there's a certain
Totally.
expectation
Right. Right.
that they feel
Totally
they
agree.
have to live up to.
Yeah. I think when I look at the men in my life in
Mhm.
general, if they needed to admit that, it would be so difficult because they are supposed to be not only the strong one, but the protector. How am I
Right.
protecting and feeling worthy to do this for my family if I feel lonely and I feel less than? So I think a lot of men feel like they need to protect, which they do. My husband is a great
Mhm.
provider and a protector, but I would think him along probably with even my sons, I'll say it. They would never be honest enough to come forward and say, I'm having a lonely day because they need to be
Mm-mm.
that strong man and protect their family. Yeah. So I think
And
that's,
I couldn't do that either, come to think of it.
Okay.
So I understand where that comes from.
yeah. Yeah.
Or I would never say to somebody, I'm sad today. Like I know people that I'm not laughing at them. I'm just laughing because I could
They'll
never
just,
say to somebody, I'm
I'm
sad.
sad today.
Right. Right.
But you know what? For someone who has a hard time connecting with someone and they are only comfortable in texting or whatever, that may be all they need to do to get someone to notice that they need someone. Say, hey, I'm a little down
That's
today.
true.
Or hey, I need someone to talk to. Sometimes we don't even want to talk. You just
Right.
want someone to know I'm a little sad. I was speaking to someone the other day, and that's exactly what they said to me. They said, it's so funny you reached out because I'm a little sad today. I'm feeling a little
Mhm.
lonely. I'm feeling a little lost. And I said, oh, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, but
See,
they
and
were,
that's a perfect response too, right?
yeah. And they were honest enough to say it, or I wouldn't have known. So maybe that's something that we can all learn from for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves and our viewers, that it's hard to speak it, but sometimes it's so easy to text it to somebody. Hey,
Right.
I'm not feeling good. Or how about today is a little heavy for me?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
How would you
Heavy is
respond
a
to that?
good
Okay.
word.
So maybe, John, you don't want to hear somebody say, I'm sad or I'm crying, or, maybe if someone reached out and said, I'm having a heavy day, I feel a little heavy. How would you respond to that?
I would respond. So I'm good at like helping people. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
myself that's different. But,
So
and I
you don't
will
want to
say,
do that,
it's
but you
like
would.
I'm the person that wants to make everyone feel better.
Okay.
I'm a total people pleaser and I want to make sure everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And I have a friend that we have a little code. We say, do you have a minute?
Yes.
And that's
Oh,
Okay.
like, that's,
Yes,
that's
that's
like a
great.
code, right?
Yes, that's
perfect.
great. Because I'm thinking about it. Now I'm looking from the other point of view. If you are that lonely person and we're saying just reach out, are you worried that the person you reach out to is going to go, oh my God, what's wrong today?
Again.
Right? Right? Again. So maybe by saying I'm having a heavy day or I just need an ear or whatever is a lighter way. But there are those people that will reach out all the time with something bothering them, but at least they're reaching out and they're trying to connect. So maybe they're
Which
not.
they're emotionally connected,
I was
right?
going to
Yeah.
say those people maybe not are lonely.
Right.
They're
And then we
over
have to
eager
like,
to share. Yeah.
and we have to realize too, there's different levels, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody's lonely and it's like they're depressed or getting depressed, that's totally different. They need help. Like
Mm-hmm.
they
Yes.
need
Yes.
somebody
Oh,
to
yeah.
help them out
Depression
of
is a
that.
different thing.
They
Yeah.
may need professional help. They may need medication because
Mm-hmm.
thank
Mm-hmm.
goodness we have pharmaceuticals now that help people. Like nobody has to be depressed or sad, and if a pill could help, and therapy, because I always say therapy and
Oh, yeah.
medication go hand in
Talk
hand
therapy
because
is.
that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think people should feel comfortable reaching out to get help for themselves,
Yeah.
especially if they're headed toward depression and a
Yes.
darker place, if
Absolutely.
you will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for those of us who have our slumps of loneliness, like you're saying, whether we miss a loved one or we're just missing friends or we're not feeling fulfilled, what can we do simply? What's something simple we can all learn to bring ourselves out of that or feel more connected with someone? So we said we could send a little text. So maybe you're not comfortable to say, hey, having a down day. What else can we do? What can we do for ourselves? Our Gina said, look in the mirror and say, you got this. That's
You
great
got
too. But
this.
but when you don't feel that way, you
When
don't
you
want to
don't,
say
yeah.
that. You don't
I
want to
think
say
just
that.
be present. Just allow yourself that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's
Embrace
not a
it.
bad thing. Just
Right.
embrace it for the time that you need.
Right.
Hmm.
And then what? Like me and John were discussing earlier,
Mhm.
you should allow yourself a little time
A
to
little
feel
time.
sorry for yourself. I say 24 hours. Those of
Hmm.
you who know me, Gina, I've said this before.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that's going on with you, whether you feel lonely, whether you feel down, give yourself the 24 hours. You deserve it. And then
Mhm.
pick yourself up and do something because you
Right.
cannot stay in it. So
Right.
how do we get out of it? If you're not that person that just will go out the door and go to a restaurant and meet strangers, like you said,
Yeah,
John,
go
that
out the door, do something you
like
enjoy.
just
But if you're
Stand
not that
outside and
person,
breathe.
yeah,
go for a walk,
go for
Go
a
for a
get
walk,
walk.
out of that routine
go to
of
Right.
spin
loneliness.
class.
Yeah, go to spin
Do
class,
spin
get out of your
class.
house.
If there are hobbies that people enjoy, you
Yeah.
know, do that, or even something simple.
Mm-hmm.
Do something little. Because if maybe you are feeling lonely and you're feeling
Mm-hmm.
tired, and maybe John, there is a little bit of moody blues, right?
Hmm.
Um, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So do something that, it could be as simple as getting up out of bed
Put a mask
and
on.
getting
Give
dressed.
yourself a facial.
Right, right.
Something.
A
Well, that's what I was going to
meditation.
say. I think it's important that we think about what we can do for ourselves to make ourselves feel better. So yeah,
Hmm.
if you want to give yourself a facial, I find the simplest thing for me is on days that because mine's about not feeling fulfilled or feeling
Hmm.
like, my self-worth at that time, whatever's going on. For me, the simplest thing is very simple. To just close my eyes,
Hmm.
take a deep breath and say, I matter and I am worthy. And for some reason, saying those two things with 3 deep breaths, I open my eyes and I feel lighter and I feel like I can do the next thing. Because
Hmm.
those words start to resonate here and then resonate here. And I believe them. And I know they're true, but we forget them sometimes.
Yeah.
So if we feel we are worthy and we matter, we won't feel so lonely because we're more comfortable to give of ourselves. So
Hmm.
Right.
I think a lot of times people don't want to communicate and interact because they don't feel worthy enough. What do I have to offer? Who am I? I'm not good enough. And I think that's part of it. So if we remind ourselves that we matter and we are worthy because we are born and we exist, that's it. You don't earn worthiness. You are born into
Mm.
worthiness. So if we remember that, I think that we have to just remind ourselves, we can look in the mirror, like Gina says, or close our eyes and touch our heart and remind ourselves of that every day. Then we'll have a little more encouragement to face the world because we believe in ourselves.
And you
Beautifully
know
said.
what, Grace, when you were saying that, what kept flashing in my head is what you were doing is you're getting rid of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
love
you're
that
blocking.
because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
refocusing yourself. You're resetting
absolutely.
your battery.
And sometimes we
Hmm.
have to reset our own battery. That's what I'm saying. So we get
Correct.
a lot of negativity and cruelty from the outside world, but sometimes it comes from our own intuition,
That's
our own
exactly right. I think that's more of my personality
yeah.
in a strange way. Like I feel like it's me and I got to say, you got to do this. You
You got to do
are
this.
doing
Hmm.
this. Like,
Right.
yeah,
But you're
I
worthy
like
of
that
whatever you're
exercise.
doing.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
And it's simple because
Hmm.
I know it's very hard for people to say, oh, I'm going to meditate for half an hour. I'm going to go for a 3-hour walk. We don't all have that time. And sometimes we don't get that connection right away. But 2 simple phrases, and if you want to say them over and over or just say them every day, you start to believe it because you feel it. Because deep down inside, it's there. That's what I'm saying. We are all worthy because we are born. We don't earn worth. So you have to remind yourself of that. Because you're present in this world, you matter and you are worthy. And then I think
Everyone matters.
Beautiful.
absolutely,
Amen.
absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why I say amen.
Amen.
Pray. So bring yourself to pray.
Yes.
Sometimes when I feel like I need a little
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
encouragement, I pray more. And I
Hmm.
love rosary. So I'm a rosary person and I love the rosary, even if you don't do it methodically.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes you do it
Yeah.
the way you want to, but I
Hmm.
love the texture and I love the
Yes.
prayer aspect of it. And it's meditating basically,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Well, you're
having time with
meditating on,
God,
right, on the mysteries. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And it's like it's mechanical. So your body's feeling
Yeah.
it and
Feeling.
Love it.
registering the prayer. It's all related. Same thing with putting your hands over your heart. You're relating an emotion to an action.
Exactly.
It's
And
the
you're
same
getting rid of
thing. I love that.
negativity.
Yes. That's
The
beautiful.
negativity leaves you. And I'm not saying negative, not like it's not negative, but it's like you're recharging yourself, getting
Right.
rid of stuff weighing you down.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
think
Right.
that's
It's
more
it's
a
that,
better term.
Yep.
yeah, it's
Yep.
like that, not fear, but that anxiety that is creeping in. You're letting it creep in, and
Yes.
like
Yes.
Grace said, just take a very simple moment to pause
Yeah.
and
And it
say,
comes from all angles, right? We all know
Mm-hmm.
that.
it
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom,
does.
boom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think if we evaluate our self-worth a little more often, we won't feel as lonely and we won't allow other people
Right.
to, you know, right, to break our connections and make us feel even further away because we stand in who we are and we
It's true.
put that energy around us of positivity. Yeah. I love it. I think that's good. I think that's a wonderful exercise that we should all try right now. What do you think, all three of us?
Yes.
Good.
Put your
Let's
hand on
do
your
it.
heart, close your eyes, and just simply say, you could say it out louder to yourself, I am worthy and I matter because I
I'm
exist.
worthy
I matter.
and I matter
Because I exist.
Because
because I exist.
And that's it.
it's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
I want all our listeners to try that as well. So if you're feeling lonely or disconnected, or if any way you feel you are not valued, value yourself with that small exercise. And I'd like to thank Gina and John for all their insight in this topic because it was so important for me to bring this out in the world and discuss it a little more. And I think we're going to do a little more talking about loneliness and grief because it's so prevalent in society today and it's around us all the time. And whatever we can do to help, we want to bring to you guys. So thank you to our listeners. And before we say goodnight, I like to remind ourselves as well as our listeners always, before we speak out in the world, let's remind ourselves, is it necessary? Is it kind? And is it true? Think about it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.